Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another weekly episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. As always, I am Blake Smith, and with me are my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt and Mr. Ryan Roberts. How are y'all doing?
I am very excited about tonight. We had to put this
We-
episode on pause, but we're
We
back
did.
here
We
now
did.
to
We're back.
tell
We're
you
back.
about this one.
I was currently trying to die when we were trying to do this episode, so I had COVID. But
Yeah,
we're
that's
back.
not
We're gonna
good.
kick this one off.
and you got one of your feet out of the grave now, right? Like you're
I do.
slowly.
Yeah. I got
coming
at
back.
least just a baby toe in the grave now. I think we're good.
Okay. So you're crawling out slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. But yes, we're excited to finally bring you this episode that we were supposed to do a couple weeks ago. We are going to be talking about our most recent investigation with the mysterious Salmon Mike.
I love them. How much do
Yeah.
you guys love? And we
They're some
actually
of my
have
favorite.
some stuff to showcase from the mysterious Salmon Mike. And if you have not gone and followed them at epic events, please do that. They have a lot of cool
Absolutely.
stuff if you're going out of state. So absolutely, they're amazing. We learn a lot from them.
Back in December. That's what I was trying to say. Back in December, we went to the Squirrel Cage Jail. If y'all were watching the live with us on that, we kind of walked you through it, but we really didn't do a whole lot of lives that night. It was kind of, no pun intended, with the mysterious Salmon Mike, but it was kind of mysterious.
It was.
And son, it was cold. God, it was cold.
Was
that
cold.
It
night,
was pretty
too.
cold. It was pretty cold. But what an awesome jail and concept for a jail. So I say we just jump right into it. Ryan, I know you got us a little bit of history that you had found, so take it away.
Yeah, I went ahead and put together a little dossier on this place, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into that real fast. So, the Squirrel Cage Jail, or the Pottawatomie County Jail, located in Council Bluffs, Iowa, is one of the last 3 remaining rotary jails in the world.
Say that 10 times fast.
Right?
Pottawatomie.
You want to do what to me?
You know.
And it's one of the only of its kind sitting and it's one of a kind sitting at 3 stories. It was built in 1885 for the cost of $30,000. The jail was also considered revolutionary and a big step forward in criminal justice reform. Consisting of 18 pie-shaped cells surrounded by bars on all sides, with the exception of one opening on each floor. So each cell set on a rotary mechanism all the way up. As you can see, it's all the way around. And the jailer would crank the mechanism whenever he wanted to access a prisoner, lining up the cells with the openings and the catwalks in order to get them out into where they needed to get them to go. The idea was to provide maximum security for the jailer, but the design had several flaws. If an inmate stuck out a limb while their jailer was using the crank, the limb would be caught in the bars and lopped off, and that happened to several inmates. Broken legs, broken limbs. Like, I think there was a story where a guy fell asleep and like his leg kind of fell out and it started cranking and it ended up crushing one of his legs. It was pretty gnarly.
And I believe a gentleman's head was crushed as well.
I think so, if I remember right.
I do remember hearing that story while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a fire, it would be near impossible to get the inmates out. So luckily, this place never caught on fire, to my knowledge. And the mechanism was also very prone to breaking down, which left several inmates without access to food or water for days, because if that crank didn't go, they couldn't get to anybody to give them anything. And you saw how close together those bars were. So, despite its numerous flaws and hazards, the jail remained active until 1969, when it closed and the Pottawatomie County Historical Society took over its operation. But during the time that the jail operated, there were 5 recorded deaths. One inmate hung himself in a cell, and another died by falling from a balcony after trying to scrawl his name on the ceiling. Another prisoner.
Whoa, you can't just gloss over that one, Ryan.
I do not recall hearing that story while we were there. That's the one you dug up. I love it.
I think I did it. So wait, he's on one of the. Okay, so we know how it's set up with the circular jail in the middle, and it has the balconies that come off the main side. Was that where he was? Was on one of those?
He was on one of the upper balconies, like at the very tippy top.
Okay.
Because you have the 4th floor that's the apartment, and then you have the 3rd floor right beneath it where the ceiling is, and he was on the very tippy top trying to carve his name in and just slipped and fell backwards and killed himself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Well, they do say criminals are not the brightest people, right?
Who left these banana peels here on the balcony? And said another inmate died by he had a heart attack in his cell as well. But there was a prisoner named Willie Brown that died after eating glass because what he was trying to do was he was trying to get out of Squirrel Cage Jail and get a medical transfer elsewhere, and he ate glass because the conditions were so bad he just did not want to be there anymore. So he ended up killing himself inadvertently.
Nope.
But inmates were not the only people to die in this jail. On August 22nd, 1932, Special Deputy Claude B. Dale died at the jail. There was a farmer strike in Council Bluffs that week, and when 66 farmers had been arrested for picketing. The sheriff heard that there was a large group of farmers headed towards the jail to break all the other farmers out. So he put out a call for special deputies and to help defend the jail, and Claude B. Dale was one of the men that answered the call. And he and another deputy were tasked with manning a Gatling gun outside that was set up in front of the jail to make sure the farmers didn't get in. But as they were testing the weapon, the gun misfired and it killed Claude, adding him to the list of the dead at the jail.
Oh, shit. I don't think I heard that death either when we were there.
Yeah. The partner that he was with he was injured, but he wasn't injured as bad as Claude. Like Claude was, he was hauled to the hospital and he died pretty much shortly thereafter.
Damn.
Now, there were some famous inmates that were at this jail. Babyface Nelson, aka Lester Joseph Gillis, spent a couple of nights in the jail. That's all I could find on when I was doing my research. I don't know exactly why. I can only imagine he was probably being transported from somewhere.
Transferred, more than likely. I believe that's what we were told.
But one inmate takes the cake for this jail, and his name strikes fear in the heart of many true crime buffs. And his name was Jake Bird. Now, Jake Bird was a transient African-American serial killer, known for brutalizing his victims with an axe. He spent time in Squirrel Cage Jail in the late 20s before getting out, drifting along, and murdering a mother and a daughter in 1947. Upon his capture and conviction, Jake confessed to 44 murders while working with law enforcement in several other states to solve several cold cases that he had committed. It was confirmed that he did kill at least 11 victims, and Jake was sentenced to death but tried to appeal. The judge gave him a chance to speak for himself in court, and when he did, he stood up in the courtroom and addressed the court, telling the judge and prosecution, quote, "I'm putting the hex of Jake Bird on all of you that had anything to do with my being punished. Mark my words, you will die before I do." Before Jake was put to death, the judge, his defense attorney, two of the police officers that got his confession, and his prison guard all died from heart attacks shortly thereafter.
Get out!
What?
Right. Ain't that nuts? And then the court clerk died of pneumonia. And Bird was finally put to death by hanging on July the 15th, 1949. So he just, some people say that he actually did put the curse on him.
I think after the first one died, we'd have had to speed up him getting out of the deal. Yeah. Especially if I was still alive and I was part of it, I'd be like, guess what? It's tomorrow.
Right.
Guess what we're doing tomorrow?
It's like, let's move this along a little bit. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
So after all that, there are some hauntings in the jail that have been reported since the 50s. A jailer working at the jail refused to stay in the apartment on the 4th floor, saying that he felt they were being watched at all times. And he kept hearing phantom footsteps. So he would just go sleep downstairs. He's like, I'm not sleeping up there. And phantom footsteps are not the only thing that are reported on the 4th floor in that apartment. The full-bodied apparition of Otto Goofath, I think that's his name, is said to appear. He was a jail overseer back in the day, and apparently he's still watching over the jail. And strangely enough, not only are male spirits and spirits of serial killers seen in this jail, there's also a little girl spirit that's been spotted. No one knows who she is or where she came from, but she frequently appears in cells and is often sad, and her voice has been heard audibly and on EVP recordings. So visitors to the jail have also reported doors opening and slamming, other poltergeist activity, and shadow figures and many whispers being heard audibly in the jail. So that was everything that I was able to find as far as the hauntings and who might be running around this place. But we had our own personal experiences when we were there.
Yes,
Well, and
we did.
we also know that, like, with jails, you know,
Mhm.
there's locations that we say are, it almost seems like they're just inherently haunted. They're just meant to be haunted,
Right.
you know? And that's like your theaters, your hotels, your
Mhm.
jails, your museums. They all seem to have all that energy coming and going, you know, the good, the
Mhm.
bad, all of that stuff. So you add that on top of everything.
You got all that pain and anguish on top of each other, you know, and it's
Yeah.
just it's going to build up, and it's going to, you know, somehow reside in that place after all those people are gone.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
And at this jail, what we found is not only did we have some residual, we did hear some knocks, some taps. We did hear what sounded like some footsteps. Did we catch them? Of course we didn't.
Of course not.
But we also had direct communication interaction. So there is actually intelligent hauntings at
Mhm.
this jail as well. And we did catch some of that, which is what we're going to show you. But
Mhm.
shall we kind of start off with our drive up? Blake and I were driving up, and Sal Nicosia Jr., who was on our show, whenever we had Linda Hilliard and Sal on there, had sent me a message, and we were probably about 4 hours out, and
It's something like that. Yeah.
and it said, I just want you to know that there's a lady in blue. I just want you to know that they're waiting for you. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Blake going, and I went, is it bad? Because normally that's what I get. And he said, no. He said, a female in blue wants to talk to you. And I was like, thanks for the heads up. I'm going, great. So when we first get there, you know, we say hello to everybody. We you know, the mysterious Sam and Mike and Erica, their top investigator, they go do their walkthrough first. Then we did our live and did a walkthrough. Now on that live, if you were watching, we Blake happens to see amongst all these male clothing one singular female blue dress.
Blue dress.
And we pulled it out, and we made a note on the live to say we're marking this for right now. We'll tell you about it later. We hadn't even told Ryan at that point
We didn't
about
tell
that
Ryan.
part.
We didn't tell Ryan until we got back.
That's right.
Yeah, because I was
After the
confused
fact.
whenever
Yeah.
we did the live. I was like,
Yeah.
what's the blue
We
dress
didn't even
got
tell
to
him
do?
after we got back and we were on the phone, and we were like, okay, this is why we noted the blue dress, you know,
Right.
just in case.
Right. And so one of the very first things we did is whenever we did the walkthrough, I was getting pulled into this green bathroom. For whatever reason, that's where I wanted to be. And so the mysterious Sam says to me, I'm going to put my digital recorder right here on the windowsill. I said, that would be great. I want to be in here by myself.
And that was on the 4th floor in the apartment upstairs,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct. And so I got in there. She turned it on. It's somebody else's equipment. I don't touch it if it's somebody else. She set it on the windowsill. I sat down on the floor, and everybody walked out. And I said, hi, I was told by someone you were waiting to talk to me. I asked a few more questions. I never heard anything audibly with my ears. And I said, okay, well, thank you for talking to me. I introduced everybody that was there. And then after, I guess it was probably, I think Sam gave me 5 minutes, and she knocked on the door and said, okay, I'm coming in. I said, all right, come on in. When we played back the recorder and you guys were all in there, before I even said, hi, I was told there's somebody here who wants to talk to me. There is an audible EVP that comes through very loudly that says, oh, wow, she's here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear me say, hi, I heard there's somebody who wants to talk to me here. Like right off the bat. And I'm going, uh-oh.
Well, and it was one of those that it wasn't so much like, oh, wow, she's here. It's like, I mean, there was emotion behind it. It was like,
Right.
it was like, oh, wow, she's here. Like,
that's exactly what it
I mean,
sounded
that's
like.
that's how it came across.
Very excited.
I was blown away.
And
that.
we did try to get you that clip. However, whenever the mysterious Sam went to transfer those files to her phone, that is one of the few that did not transfer for whatever reason.
Wow.
But we all heard it in the moment whenever it
Yeah.
played back. I mean, Sam and I heard it. Erica was in there with us, and we called you guys in. We're like, do you guys hear this? And y'all were like, holy crap, that is clear. There was only one other thing that was said audibly into the EVP recorder, and we couldn't understand it. It was so quiet. And of course, I kept the rest of the night trying to get them to tell me something, but they wouldn't, of course.
And it was class A. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a clearer EVP.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of interesting too. It was when all the women were in the bathroom together. When the men came in, they didn't want to communicate with us in that bathroom for some reason. But
nope.
I know that you guys kind of went in that bathroom. We're kind of trying to get some more stuff going on. And
we went in
Sam,
together after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we went in together after that. And they made me get in the tub. Oh, okay, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and we did have the spirit box running, and it said, "Why are you wearing clothes?" I was like, oh,
yeah,
because I'm not getting naked up in this bitch. No, thank you. Funny.
So, but me and Sam and Mike kind of stepped over to the side and went to another room across the hall, though, because there was like 2 bedrooms up there. And so we went to the bedroom on the right on the 4th floor and closed the door. And we had that same recorder sitting on the bed. And Sam turns around, and I think she was talking about leaning on the wall or knocking on the wall. And she turns around and she's like, "Oh, that's not a wall." And we did our EVP session, and we get done and we go back to play it back. And as we play it back, what Sam said was, "That's not a wall." And me and Mike both audibly heard Sam say that in the room, but the voice that came out of that recorder was not Sam's. It was a man's.
It was a man's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
And we came back and we showed it to y'all, and it was like a man with a deep, gravelly voice. Like,
he was like, "That's not a wall."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
He basically, it wasn't, you couldn't even hear her voice.
No,
it was, you only heard him say her exact words.
Mm-hmm.
To put it in comparison for y'all, audio wise, just so you can get an idea, it'd be like Shelly saying it, but my voice coming through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it'd be like Shelly saying it in the moment, but whenever it's replayed, my voice is what comes out instead of Shelly's. It was wild.
I've never heard that happen before. Never.
No.
And that is their evidence. I'm sure they will post that up on their website at some point, or their Facebook page at some point, because that is a very interesting clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it only got stranger as the night went on. So after we did the walkthrough, we kind of started separating. We did some things together and we did some things apart. Blake, do we want to go with a together one first, or do we want to go with a individual? Because of course, the first thing I do is I go run into the juvenile cells.
Yeah, you go out by yourself, of course, as always.
Well, it just happens. You know me. I'm like a squirrel. If I see something shiny, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that over there? And for whatever reason, there was something that was really bothering me about the juvenile cells, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go see what's going on in there. And so I basically walked in and I started running the spirit box. So dealer's choice, which one you want to play first. Turn your volume up for this, because it is a spirit box session. So you're going to need to be able to hear what's being said.
Yeah. I'll play the first one, the longer one.
Okay.
Hi, did you just say my name? Are there any kids in here? Can you tell me your name?
You know, to me, it sounded like the woman said, "No, Shelly, don't." Like, almost like maybe she was like,
"Oh," in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So me and Shelly had talked about that, because she had sent me one thing. She's like, "This is what I'm hearing." I was like, "No, like she's going, Shelly, don't." Like, she's very
no, Shelly,
like,
don't.
Yeah, she's like, Shelly. Well, see, I only hear the Shelly, don't. I'll have to go back and listen to see if I can hear the no. But like the very first time, I didn't even have headphones on or anything. I just played the clip and I was like, "Oh, Shelly just got told don't." Like, Shelly, don't. you know, like, don't
Well,
you dare.
what
you think-
preceded that was go ahead.
I say, do you think she was warning you, like, not to engage with whoever was in that particular part of the jail? Maybe.
Well, whenever I first walked in, I had said, "Would you like me to sit on the bed and read you a story?"
Mm-hmm.
And I got a really weird feeling. And I said, you know what? I'll just sit over here in the chair. And in a minute, I'll put the spirit box on the bed. And I think that might have been what she was saying. No, Shelley, don't sit on the bed. I don't know. Maybe that would have been considered inappropriate, something like that. You know, they don't know if I'm a jailer. They don't know who I am. So it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's kind of what I'm, but right before the clip, before he says it's called fucking them up.
Oh,
To
yeah.
me, right before that, I hear a female go, fuck her up. And if you listen to it, and again, if you listen back right before it says it's called fucking them up, there's a female that says fuck her up. And she's real quiet. And in listening back, I know I didn't send that in the transcript to you, but when I went back to listen to it, I heard her go, fuck her up.
Can you play that one more time?
Yeah, we can play it again. So,
Yeah,
so
play that one more time, because I want
what Shelly's pointing out is about halfway through. So you're going to be about 25-ish seconds in is when that it's called fucking them up is going to come through. So it's just before that. So maybe between the 20-second mark. So
all right.
Yeah, we'll play it again.
Hi, did you just say my name? Are there any kids in here? Are there any children in here? Can you tell me your name?
Okay, see, I didn't hear it that time. That's what's so weird about it. But I did hear the no in front of Shelley don't that time.
Yeah.
I did hear no, Shelley don't. So okay. Works for
Interesting.
me.
I mean,
Works
that
for
was,
me.
I like how you say, are there only kids in, are there any kids in here? And it answers you one time and says only Malcolm. Now you actually didn't flag that whenever you sent it to me, but
I didn't
heard
hear
it.
that one.
I heard it immediately whenever it came through, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then you said, "Are there any kids in here again?" And it says only teenagers, which is amazing because it's the juvenile area,
Right.
It
So
is the
I think
juvenile
is
area.
I don't know. That clip is a pretty fascinating one.
I like
pretty
that
different
one.
captions,
It's very
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. But we got
So-
a second clip from that area.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, you okay? This one's a little bit shorter than that one, so here you go.
All right.
So for now, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to say thank you if you spoke to me. What? I heard my name. What?
You called me back to ask me if I'm leaving, then you tell me to get out.
I love that one though, because it's so interactive in the moment. You're like, okay, I'm going
Right.
to turn this off. So if you think they're like Shelly, and you're like, what? Leaving? No, I'm just saying I'm going to turn this shit off for nothing.
Just for the hell of it. And then they're like, get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I mean, they
Yeah.
laugh at me a lot because it's like, I'll be ready to turn it off and then they'll yell my name. And I'm like, what? Damn it. I've just been sitting here talking to you for 10 minutes and you won't tell me anything. And I'm like, thank you. I'm going to turn it off. Shelly, what? Leave me alone. What do you want? I've already answered you. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Shelly, what? Leaving? Get out. Okay. What do you want me to do?
But that always seems to be the thing with the paranormal, especially whenever you're running spirit boxes and stuff like that, is that when you go to turn it off, it's almost like you add that pressure
Right.
to them to say something. And so they say your name to get your attention. And you're like, you haven't said shit for 5 minutes. What do you want? Like,
And then when you start paying attention to them again, they shut up.
It
again,
just-
and then
it
again
shuts up
until you
again.
get ready to leave.
yeah.
Well, that's like at Goatman's Bridge when we were out there, and I said, "Okay, y'all aren't talking. I'm gonna turn it off and go, Shelly. Hey, Shelly,
Yep.
didn't hear any of it.
It's almost like they start panicking that
Yeah.
you're going to shut it off and you're not going to talk to them again. So they're trying to do anything to get your attention and keep it rolling and keep it going.
Yeah,
I love that
absolutely.
though.
That's,
Leaving?
Yeah.
Shelly, What? Leaving?
Here, we'll play.
With
We'll
that.
play it one
Yeah.
more time so y'all can hear it
Okay.
again. Because I know sometimes the first times through you don't know what to expect. So
The
let's play it one more-
inflection is perfect.
Yeah. Let's play it one more time for him.
So for now, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to say thank you if you spoke to me. What? I heard my name. What?
Leaving.
Get
I
out.
love that. I love that. Leaving.
Obviously, when I was like, "Well, are you really leaving?" Because it seems a little early, But yeah. Now, Blake, is there one more clip in the juvenile area, or is it just? Do we go? Okay.
So we have a clip that is we actually, if y'all follow us on YouTube, we actually put out on our YouTube because it's very close to the juvenile area. But this is actually kind of late. We're gonna take a break from Shelly going by herself for a second.
Because I did that
actually-
several times.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, this is actually later on in the evening. After we've done a little bit of investigating. Shelly's been by herself already. We've already done the live walkthrough and all that stuff. And I have to use the bathroom. I have a rule. I have a bathroom buddy. That's it. It's just the way I am.
Blake
What was
always
that,
has
right?
a pee buddy.
Mhm. I don't know. I was trying to figure out what that was myself. I was like, what the hell does fail in there? Oh, I don't know.
Okay. It sounded like a dog barking from this side. But anyways, so I always have a bathroom buddy. I always have a pee buddy because I don't go, that's where the ghosts get you. They're gonna get you in the bathroom. So I bring Shelly with me.
Mistake.
Yeah, total mistake, by the way. Ryan, you're my bathroom buddy from now on. Sorry. So Shelly comes with me. Shelly brings a spirit box with her. There's only one bathroom in this jail, and you have to go up to I think it was on the second floor. And while I'm in there, Shelly's like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn it on," and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I go,
Oh, God.
look, what else? I said, I'm just standing here. I'm gonna run a spirit box, see if I can catch something. Blake's like, shit. Okay,
Well, it's like,
whatever.
all right, whatever. I just gotta use the bathroom. So as Shelly is running it, she starts asking them what I'm doing.
Why not?
And she lovingly gets an answer. And this has got to be one of my favorite clips. Just watch this shit.
What's he doing in the bathroom? What did you think?
Blake could not get out of that bathroom fast enough.
I couldn't. I
Because
thought
you
it was so
see-
great.
That was the second time I was
Mhm.
his pee buddy. The first time we ran it, I was just like, tell me what he's doing. Come on, just whisper it to me. And they go, he's peeing. And I was like, they said he's peeing. And Blake's like, what? I go, they just said you're peeing. And the guy goes, yeah, he's peeing. So when we went back up there, I'm like, let's see if we get him to do it again.
This
And
time we
Blake's like,
recorded.
really?
Yeah.
Blake's like, really? The funny, what you don't see in that is that the mysterious Mike walks up about the time that Blake's in there. And I'm going, what's he doing? It goes, pig. And Mike's like looking at me. Blake's coming out, buttoning up.
Unbuttoned
and
pants, belt, stuff. Yeah.
And I, of course, me, I'm being an idiot. I look at Mike and I go ahead and go on in there. Let's see if they'll tell us what you're doing there. He goes, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I
He's
said,
like, no,
"Nah,
I'm
never
good.
mind."
I think I'm all right. Yeah.
He was like, no, I'll wait. I was like, that's okay. I said, all right. I said, I won't run it in the room while you're in there peeing. We'll give you some privacy. So I stepped in the hall. Said I didn't say I wouldn't run it out here. And I'm like, what's he doing in there?
Blake, did it make you pee a little faster?
No, okay. So I'll tell you what, like whenever all that was going on, I'm not gonna lie, that bathroom was a little uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I'm sure we all used the
Oh,
bathroom
yeah.
there.
I
you know,
did.
yeah.
but-
I didn't.
You
Oh,
did?
you didn't?
Mm-mm, I held it.
I don't know. It was something about like you get in there and see, that's what I'm saying. They get you
Well-
in the bathroom when you have your back to the door and you're
Right.
you're using the restroom. You're very vulnerable. I just felt like somebody was behind me the whole time.
Well, I think about it too. That was their living space where you were in.
Right.
And, they're probably thinking, what's this inmate doing pissing in my damn toilet? You know?
Now, you know what? Had we thought, we could have taken warden shirts or jail uniforms.
Mm.
We know for next time.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to get the striped ones like the Hamburglar and go next time?
Heck yeah, of course. Gotta be authentic.
Need to be able to have costumes for every location that we go to.
I
Yeah.
agree because for some reason the combination of our three energies
Mhm.
and being human trigger objects just freaking works. It sends
Yeah.
things over the top. And I sometimes it goes a direction we don't want it to go.
Taking a leak here, boss.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very true.
So right outside of that bathroom, if you go up one flight of stairs,
Mhm.
that was where the most violent offenders were held.
Mhm.
And right before we did the peeing thing, I had actually gone up there and was standing right outside that violent offender cell by myself. And Blake just happened to be coming upstairs. He goes, I need a pee, buddy. Okay, so I came down and met him. But before that, I was running a spirit box session by myself in there.
Mhm.
And I they didn't like me being up there. I think we have a
You
clip
were
on
in
that.
You were in Jake Bird's cell, right? Isn't that where
I
you
was
were at?
I was standing right outside the violent offender cell, the picture
Okay.
that Blake just showed, and running a spirit box. So you can play
Well,
that one.
this first one was more about, this wasn't about like how they felt about you there. It's almost like you were getting answers for what life was like for them
Yeah.
if they were a violent offender. That's what this actual first one
Oh, okay.
is for. So we'll play this one twice, but we'll play it, discuss, and then play it again.
Okay.
I understand this is where the most violent offenders were. Who was in that cell? No, not the devil. Get over it with that shit.
Okay, so there's actually two things that did not make it on the captions.
The
Yeah,
transcript.
So they say devil.
Mhm.
They say devil, and I say that's not the devil. Quit it with that shit. And at the very end, it goes, "You hear that, Jacob?"
Yeah.
Play
And
that
that's,
again for me.
that's crystal clear that you hear that, Jacob. Well, the devil and you hear that, Jacob, are both crystal clear, but they're towards the end of the clip. It's about a 30-second clip. So you're somewhere in between like 25 seconds plus is when those two pop in. And they're crystal clear. Yeah, I'll play it again.
Yeah, play it again because I couldn't quite hear that last bit.
Okay, here you go.
I understand this is where the most violent offenders were. Who was in that cell? No, not the devil. Get over it with that shit.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, there's
You hear
another
that,
one in there
Jacob?
too. There's the little kid said he's still alive, and then it goes the devil. And I go, no, quit it with that devil, and then it says, you hear that, Jacob? There's a female in there that goes, he's still alive.
The female or a kid?
A kid, female child. It
yeah,
sounds like
yeah,
a kid's
high-
voice that
high
says
pitch.
he's still alive.
It could be that
Uh,
little girl they talk about.
It might
could
be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Sorry, just heard that.
No, that's
Just
okay.
heard
See,
that.
this is what happens. And you can listen to them over and over and over again,
Right.
and you can capture different shit.
And if y'all hear something that we don't hear, please let us know.
Oh,
because
put it
you
in the
get
comments, please.
several sets of ears on it so you can get
Oh,
a
yeah,
definitive.
yeah. But those last two, the devil and you hear that Jacob, are. And what's funny is that you hear that Jacob, you can almost hear the accent
Mm-hmm.
that they're saying. It's like, you hear that Jacob? It's
Mhm.
almost that Midwestern inflection.
hello
that they
there.
have. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, it almost is.
Yeah, but that last
Hmm.
part, it's like, you hear that, Jacob? Kind of like, yeah. It's they say you don't get out of this.
Mhm.
He hanged, whatever, all that stuff. It's like he's still alive, the devil, and maybe Jake Bird was considered the devil.
I mean, to a lot of people,
He's
he was.
still alive. Maybe that little girl was saying, "Oh, he's still alive, walking around here."
Yeah.
And they say the devil. You hear that, Jacob? Kind of like, hey, they're calling you the devil. That one, and again, in that moment, you can tell really the only thing I hear is devil. That's one of the few I hear. I really didn't hear any of that other in the moment. It took going back and reviewing the evidence. So
Man, if I had a quarter for everything that told you it was the devil, I'd be a very rich
everything
man.
tells it. I always laugh because I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Nice try though.
It's so funny because like when we spoke to Patty even
Mhm.
said, the demonic gets way too much credit
Yeah.
in the
Right.
paranormal, and it truly does. Like everything wants to come across as the devil or demonic or evil, and it's just not. It's just not.
I mean, people.
No.
I don't blame anybody who freaks out when they hear the word the devil, because the very first time I ever
Right.
heard it, it wigged me out.
Mhm.
But the very first time I ever heard it say "I'm
Right.
the devil" directly to me, I was in Yorktown, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. In that moment.
Yeah, in that place, yeah.
That place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
That's
where
like
That
the
is
one.
the one that it's
But
kind of like, oops, maybe.
But being at that jail, think about it. They're trying to be the biggest, the baddest, and nobody messes with them. And who was the biggest and the baddest of them all? And they're
That's
going to say,
exactly
"Well,
right.
who am I? I'm the devil."
That's
So-
exactly right. So they're going to try and take on that
Persona. Mhm.
of that.
So yeah, exactly. But on this last one, let me set up this last one of me being by myself. This is after the potty break, because we did that, then it was me and Blake doing the peeing and the potty break. Then I said, I was up here, I said, come back up and see if you hear what I hear, because it sounds like they're trying to talk. Now, whenever I was doing it by myself, I had this low kind of guttural kind of kept sounding like it was growling at me the entire time. Well, we finally got it to talk, and it is low, but you can hear it, and it's right at the end of this clip. You'll get the growl, and then you'll hear what it has to say to me.
What did you do to get chunked in here? Oh, that was a pretty cool story, boys.
So what do I do immediately? I mock the devil. Ooh, yeah, was a scary, scary voice.
That was
But it
a
goes-
clear one.
It's
goes,
this one.
"Leave."
So I was gonna say, I'm gonna play this one. Since it's such a short clip, I'll probably play it a couple more times. But you want to listen to basically Shelly asks, "What'd you do to get chunked in here?" It almost interrupts her. The
Yeah.
first one, and then the second one is shortly after that. But listen for that growly, grovelly, kind of deep down in there. If you got your volume turned down, turn it up, because it's not as prevalent as the other ones are. So here you go. Here it is again.
What did you do to get chunked in here? Oh, that was a pretty cool story, boys.
Does not faze me in the slightest.
No.
Woo.
that get out is what is pretty interesting, because
Right.
it's not only growly, but it forces itself at you almost. It's like, get out.
Wanted to make sure I
Like-
understood it.
Mhm.
Definitely has some inflection to it. That one
Apparently,
is-
I was ignoring the instructions to leave, and it was like, "Get out!" I'm like, "Ooh, you're so scary." Oh well. And I wonder why things come at me in the dark.
I was about to say, welcome to being on an investigation
Right.
with Shelly, where she's like, come at me, bro. You want me to leave? Make me leave. That's what
Make
she's
me leave.
saying.
I don't think there's any of them made me leave yet. So
There's few and far between. So
Yeah, I don't think any of us have just up and ran out of a bit. I have one time. I have up and ran out of a building at Yorktown.
yeah, and
well,
Shelly, me and you did at Beach Army. So,
well, that's
that was
just
the only
because we
time.
were being freaking chased
yeah.
by something. And I still had to stick my hand back through that hole and run the chain through the door. And that was scary.
I'm gonna tell you what, you braver than me.
I did run out of Old Park, but I went right back in as soon as I quit vomiting.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. Right.
yeah. And I was
you
mad
gonna have
when I
to
went
do
back in.
something. You got to do something to make us get out of an area. Like do
Yeah.
something drastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's not polite to vomit on the floor, and it's not polite to
No.
vomit on the guests. So you kind of
No.
have to get out of it. When I'm going, get out of my way, and the room is clearing.
Hand over mouth.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty drastic for us to actually like the reason why I ran out of Yorktown is because I was in the confessional, and if y'all watched this from the get-go, y'all have heard this story before. Sitting in the confessional, a little by like 2x2 cell, think of a confessional booth, and anyways, got my neck grabbed and got in my headphones the words "kill him" came through, and I was just like, I'm done, I'm out, get me out of here.
An early investigator at that
I was
point.
also
Right.
an early investigator too. Yeah.
And I count that as pretty damn drastic. That's a way to get you.
Yeah, that got me to move. I was like, I'm out.
Uh-huh.
They pulled me. I didn't say shit to nobody. I grabbed my shit and walked right out the front. I didn't run. I walked out the front door, but I did leave the building.
You walked very quickly. You didn't run.
I did, but I did not run. I was
didn't
like,
run.
no, they're not going to make me run. I did walk rather quickly. But it's got to be crap like that. That even that
At
now,
a brisk
though,
pace.
even that now would
it's kinda
not.
like, no,
no,
you're not.
no.
It's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I was fairly new at that point.
You were fairly new. We had to teach you that really the only reason to run out of the building is if dire harm.
Right.
Or the building's on
vomiting,
fire.
Or the building's on fire, right?
And you're just like, I heard that last Tuesday from something way scarier than you. I'm gonna say where I'm at.
Yeah, exactly. So you actually had one more clip up there, Shelly, whenever I came up and joined you, and the violent offender cell, because that was towards that last one with the leave get out was towards the end of you being by yourself, because at that point me and Ryan realized we had lost you
Again.
somewhere. So I was like,
I get them confused because I
find-
wander off a lot. So
I was like, well, let me go find her. So you had me come back up to the violent offenders because they were trying to talk to you. You were trying to get to see if I could hear what you were hearing. And so we went back up there, had the spirit box running again. And on that one, this is what we caught on. This is where they didn't like you because you came back.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, they told me to leave. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're scary. Come here,
Yeah.
Blake. Listen to this shit.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. So this is immediately after she gets told to leave and get out.
No, you won't.
Kill you. No, you won't. Kill you. Okay.
I know. On the very end, I heard that deep voice, like I said, it's like he was like, "Go away," like he was defeated.
Now, that's my job. Now, see, and Ryan, I did hear that growly voice come back at the end, and I didn't understand what he said. That's why I didn't send it to Blake in the transcript. But in listening to it back, it sounds like he says, "Kill you again." So I don't know.
I don't know. Can you play it again? Because I swear it sounds like he says, "Go away."
Okay, all right. We'll see. We'll see if we hear "kill you again" or "go away."
Live evidence review right here.
I love it.
All right.
Tell you what. Kill you. No, you won't.
he totally says go away. He goes go away.
Just like most men, I beat them the hell down. Don't even mean to most of the time.
It's a damn it. She
And
called
I'm
my bluff.
still
Go away.
single, guys. Still single.
That is hilarious. Go away.
I guess he figured I wasn't a scaring type.
No.
But see, that's what we're
That's
saying.
fine.
That was a good story to tell about the confessional, because see, that's where we just got kill you again, and me and Shelly are like, no, you won't.
Yes, mock the threatening spirit. Not usually gonna kill you. No, you won't. Whatever. Get out of here with
Fine.
that.
Go away.
We don't start it, but we won't back down.
Yeah. Right.
Personally, I always find it funny whenever they're like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you too." You know, I'm like, what are you doing with that? Let's have a conversation. Stop. That's ridiculous. You know.
It's just an act of intimidation to get you to go away. It's those spirits that don't really want to talk, you know.
You'd think by now that they'd have figured out that doesn't make me go away in the slightest. That makes me go, come on, who are you really? Tell me who you are. I want to know who you are now.
Those kind of spirits are the ones that when the group walks into the building, you know, they're in the corner smoking the cigarette going, oh, fuck.
Not again. Here
Not
comes
again.
that blonde one.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Oh,
they're the
shit,
one.
that bitch is back.
Yep, smoking the cigarette going, Jesus Christ,
And
not
Earl
again.
from Yorktown called me earlier today and told me she was coming.
Earl.
I don't know. So we ended up coming back together as a group at one point in the night, but both our team and Mysterious Sam and Mike's team. And we decided that what we wanted to do was to run a couple of Estes methods. Now, if you're on our Patreon, you know that we've released these videos already in their entirety on our Patreon. So you can go watch. We did 2 dual Estes methods at Squirrel Cage Jail, one with me and Sam and one with Shelly and Ryan. And so those are available on our YouTube. You can watch the completely unredacted, unedited files of those, but
In their entirety.
And one's about 12 minutes. The other one's one's about 15, one's about 12. But I clipped this portion out of mine and Sam's because this has got to be one of the most impressive moments I have seen out of
Well, you didn't see it.
Well, I didn't see it because I'm under, but watching it back, it was super impressive because of the back and forth, the conversation that happened, the exchange, the quick exchange. We always love that because that's validation. You know, when you're able to have a conversation like the 3 of us are on the screen and one of you is headphoned and blindfolded and
Sounds
headphones
like last
up.
Thursday.
It's always interesting. Well, Mike is leading us on this one, and to watch Sam and Mike work together is amazing in itself. To actually have participated with the 2 of them was amazing in itself as well. So Mike starts putting the pressure on him, like we were talking about earlier, about saying, hey, well, we're going to leave. We're going to turn this off, you know, And this is the conversation that takes place. So listen to that. This is really cool.
I can count down.
Count down. I'm at 3.
9, 8.
Finish it up for me. Finish the count right now. Finish it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Wow.
What number's next?
Let me tell you a little something about this. Normally they do as we do. If you're an experienced investigator, they usually go for 15 minutes, no more. It just gets dangerous, too easy to get jumped. And if you're not familiar with it, now they sometimes will go longer, but in general, it's 15 minutes. And at this point, Mike had actually said just prior to this, he goes, you know what? We're kind of not getting direct answers. I feel like they're playing around. I'm going to shut it down. He said, I know it's only been 10 minutes. Yep. He goes, but I'm going to go ahead. He goes, and he says that, he said, I'm going to start. He said, y'all aren't giving me direct answers. I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to start the countdown. If there's anything you want to say. And that's whenever she says 3 and he goes, well, finish the count. And we were like, so it's not like it was pre-planned.
Well, she actually says a little bit earlier before that, as he's like, I'm going to go ahead and count it down. And if I remember correctly, it's kind of in the background because I think a couple of people were talking at that point. I believe I've have made it out that she says, count it down, Mike.
She does.
As he says, I'm going to start counting it down. We're only at 10 minutes at that point, you know.
5 minutes earlier than they usually stop.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to count it down. She goes, count it down, Mike. And he starts counting it down. And that's when it picks up and she says, I can count down. And he's like, all right, well, you know, take it over. Do it. Freaking impressive. Like,
and it's that defiant, like snotty tone too. Like, well, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. And that is not Sam.
No, absolutely
that's not the mysterious Sam. That is not, to me, that does not sound like her tone at all.
No, but once again, think about where we are, and Mike is in a position of authority at that point.
That's right. So he's leading.
They're gonna try to buck up against whoever the authority figure is.
Now, in that's Estes method. If you make it to our Patreon and you watch it, that one is an interesting one to tell you how. Well, actually, they're both set up this way to tell you how those 2 are different than all the other ones that we do. Usually, when we're doing duels, we have separate setups. We have separate headphones, separate spirit box, separate blindfolds, all that stuff. When we did these 2 with me and Sam, and then Ryan and Shelly, We were tied to a splitter. We shared
Mhm.
one
One box.
SB7 and ran that 2 sets of headphones off of it. So we were both listening to the same frequency. It's
Mhm.
very interesting to me what we got, because I got barely anything when me and Sam were rolling. Sam got a lot. But one of the most interesting ones is you and Ryan did this too. We actually synced up on one thing. She goes, "Hey, Mike." And I went, "Hey, Mike." And we both said it almost at exactly the same time, back to
Mhm.
back. But other than that, I find that interesting because we're both on the same box, listening to the same
You
output.
should be hearing the
You
same
should
Same
be
thing.
hearing the exact same thing. And
Mhm.
Sam is the one that's getting like everything. And I say a couple of sentences throughout the whole 10-minute process.
Right.
Really
But
interesting.
again, that's why we think that sometimes they pick who they want to talk to.
Yeah.
And like I know whenever Ryan and I did ours that we were getting some things that were actually syncing up. Like I said, I just heard a man and he's really gurgled. And Ryan says, I heard a man, but he sounds like he's crying.
Yes.
We were hearing
Yep.
I was hearing the male and I couldn't understand him. He sounded garbled to me. To Ryan, he sounded like he was crying. So that was something that was interesting, but neither one of us could make out the words. However, when I started hearing a female and I was getting words she was saying, Ryan actually says, "There's a female. We were both hearing the female,
Mhm.
but I actually got more words than he did." And then of course, actually one of the funnier parts of that is that Mike's like, "Okay, let's count them down. Let's get them out. It's been right around 15 minutes." And Blake goes, "Oh, she's going to be pissed. The female just."
I know. She just started really talking to you. And I was like, damn it, she's going to be so mad. I'm going to pull her out.
Yeah, that's all right, though.
When you hit that mark, you hit that mark, girl.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you got to.
When
gotta
it's
pull 'em
time,
out.
it's time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just for safety's sake. So,
So-
then we decided go ahead, Blake.
I'll set these last couple of clips up for you. So it's later on in the night. We're getting close to being done at this point. And the only thing that I really kind of wanted to do that I hadn't really had a chance to do most of the night, other than in the group sitting that we had, was go through a spirit dice. Like that's what I wanted to try and communicate with. And we had been shown a cell earlier in the night where Mysterious Mike was like, "I've played cards in there with them." We're like, "All right, cool. We'll come back to that." And so it's just me and Shelly at this point. I don't remember what the rest of everybody else was doing. So me and Shelly head off, and we go down to what we ended up calling Frank's cell. You'll learn why in just a second. We go down to the cell and we're setting it up, and we have the camera. Shelly, you have the spirit box. We have the flashlights on, the dual flashlights. One for purple for yes, silver for no. I've got the spirit dice, and we're trying to get them to communicate all 3 ways so we can get confirmation on different types of equipment. And
See
stuff.
if we can get them to agree, or if we can't get
Correct.
them on one, we can get them on the other.
Right.
Now, the shitty part about this is where I set the camera up. You don't get the fucking dice that I was throwing, but you hear me saying everything that is on the dice. Like you can see it out of the corner of the screen where the dice are being thrown, and you can hear what I'm seeing on the dice.
Can I tell you something very interesting?
Yeah.
I actually was running my phone, and that entire video file is corrupted.
Are you kidding?
Really?
Wow.
It sure is.
Really?
Remember, because I had the spirit box down there and I said, I'm just going to run my phone for audio. And I set it down. But whenever you said something about the dice, I said, hang on, let me get it on my phone. I picked up my phone, I held it over, and then I set it right back down by the SB7. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
And that file,
And your
it's
phone
like cannot play.
is a brand spanking new phone too, right?
No. It's it's a year old, year and a half old.
Well,
No, well, I mean, relatively new.
yeah. So it's relatively new,
Yeah.
and then that's the first time you've ever experienced anything
That's
like
first
that
time
with
I've
your
ever had a
phone.
corrupted file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so what we did, this is fairly quick at the very beginning of us throwing the dice. This is why we call it Frank's cell. This is a little bit longer of a video, so you're going to get maybe about 2 minutes worth of a video here. But this is why we call it Frank's cell.
Was this your cell? Frank.
the name Frank.
Frank. Oh,
Actually got a name.
that's interesting. It's weird to get a name.
Yeah.
Would you like me to roll this up and see if we can get confirmation, get them say it on the spirit box real fast?
Okay.
Can you tell me the name that just came through on the dice? I'm only going to give you a second on this. Can you say the name that came through on the dice? Okay, turn it down. Did you just say don't? We'll give you another chance in a minute after you answer another question.
Nope. All right, Frank. I wonder if it's on the wall anywhere. I didn't even think about that. Frank might be written somewhere, maybe. Like he's keeping
turn
his
right
stuff.
there. FYAN. FY. I mean, that's close.
No, girl, that is Frank.
That is Frank.
Yes.
That is Frank. Are you
That's
kidding
a
me?
lowercase r. I am not fucking
I
kidding
didn't even
you.
notice that.
That is a lowercase r. Yes, that's you can't
Frank.
really. But look, here's the bottom of the K, right here on one side. Here's the other side. That is fucking Frank.
Hi, Frank. Thank you.
I like how I'm like, that is fucking Frank.
Mhm.
It was
then
just
you know what? I take it back. I guess I wasn't rolling my phone then. But I have one file that's completely blank that's after that. Because I thought when we said Frank that I had put my phone up there. Maybe I'm thinking of another
Well,
time
no.
we were on
I
Spirit
came back
Dice.
around the corner, and I think when I came around the corners when you started rolling your phone again because
Well,
we kept going with
okay.
the
no,
spirit dice
because
session.
remember later on. Now, what we're gonna do with this Frank clip, I'm gonna put the Frank clip up in its entirety on our Patreon, so y'all can watch all of that. It's about a 30-minute clip. You can go have fun with it and watch all of the interactions that we have with that. I end up rolling Frank's name again later on. Now that I do put on camera because I got smart and I was like, oh, let me start grabbing the camera after I show the name Frank under the bunk. I was like, let me start grabbing the camera and showing what's on the dice. That would be great, you know? So I end up getting Frank's name again. But y'all, you could hear our reaction in there. We were blown away that not only do we get a name, but we get a name that's it's written
Above you.
above
Right.
my forehead, above my head on the
Where you're sitting.
bottom of the top bunk. Yeah, where I'm sitting. Because Shelly's like FYAN. I'm like, no.
And that does look like a Y. And
It
from where I
does.
was sitting,
Right.
I was like, I see an F and then Y and an A and an N. I can't tell what that last letter works. It was peeling paint, but whenever you pushed it back up, it was a K.
And it's not something you would have noticed offhandedly because there's so much graffiti in there. You would not have seen that unless you were looking for Frank.
Yeah.
He would have
Yeah,
had to have gotten under the bunk, laid down, and looked
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Because it was above his head.
And this bunk was literally like right here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and so I just kind of sat down and like leaned forward a little bit. And like I said, that's like at the beginning of the clip. Like if you watch it on our Patreon, like I said, it's going to be released in its entirety on our Patreon. If you watch that, you will see the setup. You'll see us rolling into just getting the dice out and throwing them and getting started. I think that's like the second question I asked.
Well, and here's the difference too. I actually could see it because the way we were sitting, Blake was actually, so on the cell, you have to step up into the cell. And then Blake was up sitting on the bed. I actually was sitting on the floor with the spirit box sitting on the step, which is the floor of the cell.
Yeah.
I was sitting lower. Where I was sitting, I had a direct angle up. And I could actually see above Blake's head, which is why I was able to spot it. Because I was sitting low, he was sitting high.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have had the camera actually turned on to the dice so that people could see me throw it and see me find the name Frank. But that cell was so tiny and everything, the way we had everything set up, I had a horrible camera view. Let's just say that.
I mean, there's no way you could have because the way the tripod would have set. And
I know.
Pie,
You wouldn't have been able to see
tiny
it.
pie-shaped cells.
Yeah.
You can't barely turn around in. So
Yeah. Well, we ended up talking to Frank a little bit longer. His whole clip of in Frank's cell is absolutely fun to watch and listen to. But we ended up talking to him about trying to figure out like who he was, where he, how long did he spend there. And this will be this is our last clip of us in Frank's cell asking him to not only tell us on the spirit dice, but come through on the spirit box. A question that we asked. So just take a listen to this. Were you in here for days, months, years?
Narrow it down so we can spell something for you. Were you in here longer than 10 years? Yes or no?
I said
maybe?
days, months, years. Are you in
Okay.
here for days? Yeah, that can be an answer. Months can be an answer, or years can be an
Okay.
answer.
Remember, Frank, if the answer is, or if you're not sure how to spell it, you can always go yes or no. Purple for yes, silver for no.
Yeah.
And I know you know how to light it up because you've already done it. You just touch whichever one you want to use. After Blake asks a question, I'll turn this up and I'll give you 1 minute to answer. Do you see anything in the dice?
Not right off the top of that.
Okay, while Blake's looking, I'm going to give you an opportunity. All we want to hear is the word day, months, or years. Okay, can you give us that? Months. Thank you. That's all you get to talk right now. Thank you. That was perfect.
That was.
Thank you for the answer.
I love that one. It is
Right.
so crystal clear when he comes through. He just goes months.
And that was such a good idea too, to not have the spirit box running the entire time. Just give him enough time to answer, then turn it right back down.
Well, that's the thing, is like what we were seeing at the very beginning, and with Mike leading me and Mysterious Sam in our little dual Estes that we did, is when you put that pressure on them, it really almost kind of forces them to answer.
Pay
you.
attention.
Because they're like, I don't have long. They're going to do this and give me only a couple of seconds. I've got to answer, and then I'm good. I don't know. That's something.
To me, we gave them 3 options: days, months, years. I need one of those 3 words, months, and I cut it off.
Yeah.
Yep. I just think it's interesting. One of the 3 words we asked for, we got in seconds. So
turning it up, and crystal clear too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a man answering as well,
Yeah.
So like I said, that whole clip, 30 minutes long, it'll be up on our Patreon, so you can go take a look at that and watch all of Frank's cell if you want in its entirety. It's fascinating. Sam and Mike and Ryan and Erica ended up joining me and Shelly. That was them in the background that you were seeing move around. Well, that's not a ghost or anything.
Yeah,
that's our people.
They had figured out that we had run off and they had come to find us, because actually, in all fairness, it was kind of almost time to go. And this time it was, instead of me and Ryan being the ones you couldn't find, or me, it was me and Blake being the ones you couldn't find. So like, we wanted to try one more thing, just one more thing, I think it was almost 4:00 in the morning at that point.
It was close to it. Yeah, it was close to it. We were like, we got just let's go see if we can't talk to Frank.
Yeah.
Or let's go to that cell so we can't get him to
right.
talk.
Now, I wanted to kind of tell everybody kind of what we were doing. We were, again, trying the 3-prong verification: yes, nor flashlights, spirit box, and the dice. So that was, if they weren't answering one, we were trying to get them to answer on the other. And I know Blake kind of explained that. So it was something we'd never tried before. And we kind of came up with it in the moment. Like, let's give them every opportunity to answer.
Yeah. Give them different avenues, because we actually have had them tell us before, whenever I'm throwing the dice, that they can't spell. So we're like, okay, we've got to put the dice up and go a different route. So in doing that and setting up different experiments, I can continue to throw the dice. Therefore, if I get another spirit that tries to come through and communicate, that can spell, but the other ones have different options as well to be able to communicate.
And we have asked, when throwing the dice, is there a way that's easier for you to communicate? And
Right.
Blake has thrown the word box, the box.
Yep.
So we'll turn on the box,
I will say one of the coolest ones that we had about whether can you read or spell or anything like that, or read or write, was at Hill House Manor whenever we were using the dry erase board, and I was holding up the question like this. I had it on camera, and somebody goes, "Can you read?" And the person under it goes, like in the experiment, the Estes method goes no, and I went, oh shit, let me erase this.
Then this isn't gonna work. Thank you.
I was like, this
Okay.
isn't gonna
This
work.
ain't gonna work
then.
it.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go somewhere else. So, but no, overall, Squirrel Cage Jail, absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to go back. I think now that we've been, you know how your first time always go. You're trying to get your
Right.
bearings. You're trying to get the layout. You're trying to get to know the spirits a little bit more. So I can't wait for us to go back and experience it again. Now that we kind of know the areas we need to focus more time on.
And
Can
of
we
all
go-
the places we didn't investigate in was actually in Jake Burton's cell.
Yeah.
How did we not investigate in
Or
his cell?
solitary. Solitary.
Yeah.
How
We
did
did-
we
Solitary
not?
was
I
crazy.
would have gone into solitary in a heartbeat.
Well, but the thing is we were getting such great stuff in other locations, though. That
Mhm.
was the thing. And I don't know if y'all watched the live. Our live is obviously still up. You
Right.
can go back in December 2nd is when we did that. You can see how big the solitary confinement cell is. I mean, Ryan stands in it, straight up, just stands in it. And
He's
That's-
barely going to fit.
he-
Barely.
Right.
yeah, that's how big it is that Ryan fills up the cell.
I
I
would
mean,
have been quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whenever we were doing the walkthrough, I went all the way back there first because I couldn't stand it. I had to run back there. I didn't care if we were filming or not. I kept to go see this. And I heard that growly voice that I kept
Mhm.
getting. It was like right at me where I got up there. It's like, oh hell no, I got growled at, turned right back around and ran right back at it. I heard that in that area.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, child, something just growled at me. And I'm like, okay. And then whenever I kept getting on the spirit box later.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those places that's just big enough where if you start getting something somewhere, there's no way you're going to get to where everywhere you want to go by the end of the night. So going back would be a whole lot of fun. Can we go back when it's warm this time?
Sure.
It wasn't bad though. They had a
No, it
nice
actually wasn't
little
bad at all.
they had a heater going in there. We were good.
No. I had a blast, but man, I ain't felt cold like that in a minute. And I was luckily, I stocked up on wool socks and I stocked up on thermal boots and a puffer jacket before I got
We
there. I
were
said, I'll
not
be
going
damned.
to be cold.
No.
while we were
Listen,
there.
No.
we know there's some of y'all who are watching and listening from up north. We get it. We're
That are
Texans,
laughing
okay?
at us.
Yeah, we get it. It hits 80 degrees and we're like, where's our light jackets? Okay.
Yeah, we
That's-
need a jacket. It might cool off.
Hey, but you know what? It doesn't matter if it's rain, sleet, snow,
We're
hot.
gonna go.
We're gonna go, and we're gonna be there, and we're gonna find the ghosts.
We've investigated in South Texas in 115 degree heat and investigated up north in what was it, 22,
like
19
that.
when
Yeah.
we were
Something
there.
like that.
Yeah.
it's cold.
Yeah. I just heard us
Yeah.
get laughed at in Canadian. So
I'm sure they did. In Canadian? We
In
got laughed
Canadian,
at? Okay.
yeah, Canadian
sure.
laughter. Yeah, we got laughed at.
Well, you know what? We're babies about the cold. They don't want the heat either. So
Very true. Very
if
true.
there's a spooky, we can go find it.
Mhm.
But no, overall, great investigation. Great people to be with. Mysterious Sam and Mike with Erica. Absolutely fantastic. I
Can't wait to get back with them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't wait to do more with them, and hopefully, maybe be able to bring a couple of y'all along with us. Who knows?
You never know.
Yep,
Become a Patreon. You'll find out first if that is actually the case.
you will. All right. Well, Shelly, you want?
Yes. Would you like to tell them everything they need to know?
I'm like, I need my cue, Shelly.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to say anything else about the Squirrel Cage or
No,
not.
no.
Well,
Any,
all right.
no,
Well, that's
any.
everything they need to know.
Okay. Well, y'all don't forget our brand new talk show, After Dark with DVP, is fully out, all of season 1 on Paraflix Paranormal Plus. We have 8 episodes consisting of interviews with other individuals in the paranormal field and haunted location owners, and our very own paranormal investigations with evidence you won't see anywhere else other than Paraflix. Paraflix is available on Amazon Fire, Roku, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play Store. Make sure you use our link to sign up. We will make sure that is posted to our Facebook page tomorrow, and you will use our code After Dark 25 for 25% off your annual subscription for that. It is also going to be posted in the show notes for you audio listeners. Our Linktree link will go up tomorrow. It's going to include that Paraflix Paranormal Plus platform link, every social media channel we are on, our online merchandise store, our public investigations, and our Patreon page. Our Patreon page is the fastest and easiest way you can directly help support the show. For just $5 a month, you will gain access to over 30 300 plus
Yeah,
additional
get that number
Patreon
right.
yeah, exclusive videos. Your support goes directly to the show and all the adventures that we get to bring you week after week. This price will never change. And with that, you currently get our pre and post broadcasts, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast, where we are going to discuss things further. You might see extra evidence. We'll fight, we'll debate at goofy as hell, and share a lot more of the personal side of things. So
We're sorry.
yeah, exactly. And it also now includes that raw and unedited investigation footage for Patreon exclusive only. As we said, we have the 2 SS methods from Squirrel Cage Jail up, as well as some other videos. So make sure you go and check that out. If you've ever wanted to watch full versions of our paranormal evidence, now's your chance, only on Patreon. Make sure you're following us across all social media platforms, as we are now starting to release different pieces of evidence and videos, as well as announcements for tickets and investigations to different social media channels. So if you're just following us on one channel, you're only getting a small portion of what we do. These are all the ways you can directly support everything Vaguely Paranormal, but we also appreciate your love and support for us through those likes, comments, shares, views, and downloads. And remember, as always, any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share with us, those can be submitted to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us for another weekly episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. For myself, I am Blake Smith, and my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt, Mr. Ryan Roberts. As always, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.